suppose so.
Alright, hitting go live now.
Alrighty then. Also, you say anyway. There's no proof. There's no proof that you've actually gone live, so who knows?
There is proof.
There is?
People can hear us and see us now.
Well, so you say. They'll tell us that's really true. Hopefully.
Will they?
I don't know, hopefully. Okay, now I can go on the... I can go on the thing that I just... There's no proof.
Cool. Yeah, I think
Aha.
we're live. Hi, guys.
Is that my zoomed in pic?
Zoomed in pic. Yes.
Oh my god, I've accidentally put the CC on. Hello, this is the automatic creation of the subtitles from Zanzibar. I'm with Captain Simon Folstat, and you're watching Trekyards.
Trekyards for the win.
Oh,
hi, guys. How's it going? Keep hitting that like button, guys. It's going up. That's
click
good.
it! Click it.
Click it. Click it like you mean it.
Yeah. But back to about season 4, Stuart. Season 4.
That's the rumor.
Oh, we got Zanzibar, Captain Simon. Folstat, and you're watching Trekyards. Trekyards for the win. Trekyards. Okay. Just gonna turn that off.
What's going on here?
Yeah. So yes, we're talking about the DMA, the big non-bad, the revelations.
The dark matter anomaly.
Yes, exactly. I'm hoping, I think it's going to imply there'll be even more learned this week, and so it's an even better time to have guesstimations, because we were right last time. So it's always fun when we're right, because we got it on record.
This is true. This is true. And we're right sometimes. Not more often than not, but
Yeah.
it's fun to speculate and discuss.
It is. It is.
So,
And this is
spoilers to anyone that's here, they kind of revealed that it was not
Yeah.
a natural phenomenon, but in fact it has a device in the middle of it, and it's created. So we're going to talk about who might do it and why.
And it's just funny, because we've had this conversation in essence 3 times already, but each one with the brand new revelationary information. Because the first time it was, well, it's a spatial anomaly, okay, what could it mean, where could it be from, blah blah blah. But also it's not man-made, because it makes sense, but they're not saying it is. And oh no, it's actually 2 anomalies, that's what the trailer says. And it's like, nope, it's not, because the trailers lie. There's a whole load of sort of rediscovering. Yeah. So I will start sharing, and you talk to the fans!
I'll talk to the people. I don't know if they're fans or not. Hit that like button, guys, to show that you're fans. We have 57 people here now and 38 likes. Let's get up to 50 likes. Liking is a free way to help out the channel. You can also join the channel. There's a join button down there, and make sure you're subscribed, obviously. If you want to super chat, we'd really appreciate it. And your thoughts, theories, ideas, let us know. We will talk about them. We do read them all on the air. Other than that, I mean, yeah. Thanks for joining us. We have the Teesprings and the TeePublic store down below. Click those links. Check out the Trekyards merch. Maybe grab yourself something cool. 'Tis the season. You even have to buy yourself your own gifts. So there you go. Or tell somebody that you love and that loves you back that you want a Trekyards merchandise. And there is a link down there for that. There's also an affiliate link for Eagle Moss. Click that and you can use the discount code Trekyards10 on checkout to save yourself some money picking up some Eagle Moss ships. We are kind of the ship guys here, so we do love the ships, and so the Eagle Moss partnership is a great thing for both us and for you guys. So if you can do that, please do that. Also, tell anybody that you know about Trekyards. Share the videos around. You know the routine. It's all stuff that you can do to help us out. So please do so. And hopefully you guys have a good holiday season this year. And Merry Christmas to everybody. We will be doing I think a drunk Trekyards hangout sometime between Christmas and New Year's, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, hopefully you guys are all done your Christmas shopping and stuff. I'm not 100% done yet myself, so hopefully you guys are at least. But yeah, there we go. So if you have any theories or ideas about what the DMA could be, who created it, this is the time and the place to talk about those things. We got a great community here that likes to talk about what you guys want to talk about, and it's friendly people that always show up to these things, and we're proud of that. So by all means, have your voice heard. Let us know via super chat what you want to talk about. Who wants the first super chat strike? It's available right now. By all means, $1 will do it, $2 will do it, whatever. Just get the ball rolling. But yeah, we do read every super chat, and there you go.
And this is definitely like one of those lives where you'll be like, we got it right. So let's see if we can crack the enigma today. Yeah, that's the idea. Okay, so how weird is it they was able to make their own brand fresh spanking new one in the lab right there, that easy? Boom, there it is. I've got a picture of it.
That came off as really odd, considering he already had the schematics and everything for it, and considering he's got the thing in the back of his neck, which is similar to what the emerald chain used. I'm wondering if maybe somebody got the idea from him, so this is his baby or his idea, and they actually implemented it somehow. So I don't know. It was weird that he just hey, check out the schematics, let's build this thing. It just came across as really strange to me. I don't know about you, but
well, it's exactly the same as a Angel suit, where they can suddenly build this massively amazingly advanced technology that day, that afternoon, with no apparent effort in the grand scheme. So they've taken that shortcut before, that easy, done. But in this case, they've got 32nd century scanners, so why can't they make incredibly detailed scans in 1 second? Although you would think this thing would have shielding that would deflect scans. So the fact that it doesn't, it was completely open to be scanned in its entirety, except its power source, I guess, because they don't know what's powering it, even though they know they got kind of all of the detection, they got all the inner workings scanned except the power source. Surely that would be part of the internal structure. They were telling us it was inside it. It wasn't being powered from outside. That was the whole point. Our one is. So why could they not scan the power source?
My thinking is it's probably a linked power source via another artificial singularity. He did say it was equivalent to a hypergiant star. So I mean, don't take that literally. It's not linked to a hypergiant star. It's just equivalent power source. So that's kind of the vibe that I get from something that's this large or this small. Relatively speaking, compared to the Anomaly. I don't know if it would have an onboard power supply.
Well, they certainly implied it, but they also don't know. But you would think that'd be a great line of dialogue, saying we don't know what's powering it, it's got no visible power source, and yet it exists. Then I agree, then it's being powered by this alternate universe across the galaxy, being... you remember from Stargate Atlantis when the Asuran Gate, when they attack Atlantis, being powered from the other side, so it's unlimited power, it's being powered through a wormhole, and things not actually... It's not a gun itself, it's a gun through a portal.
Yeah.
But
that's what I think one of their plans might be eventually, to disable this thing, is to delink it from the power supply that is powering it. I think it's going to be an idea that they're going to have and they're going to try to implement.
Well, I would love to see a sequence where we actually see, like you said, maybe they sport. Because why can't you sport inside this thing? At least inside the Vija style fog. Spore in. I'm assuming at some point they're going to spore into the gravity well close to the artificial thing at the middle, because I don't know where it is in the middle. It's not going to change location necessarily, and they'll send off some sort of wave which will disable it, and then you get a scale shot of it next to it, and it just pans out. It's like the size of a Borg cube in comparison, because it is meant to be giant, but we see it as little. That's a representation. But if it's still massive, and then I would love it to look like the Sphere from Enterprise, or at least something of that ilk. That sort of visualization of it's clearly this very advanced oomph, but it's huge. And so if it's something that big, well, if it's a ball cube, it's a massive amount of power. Dyson sphere also has a sun inside, but 5 light years. Well, a Dyson sphere ain't 5 light years across, is it? So they didn't tell us how big is this thing. Half a light year in diameter. If it is, fuck, that power source can be massive. You know what I mean? There's no relative scale given whatsoever for this. It was kind of hard to make a.
I thought they did mention how far it was across at one point.
Well, no. I mean, no, the internal thing. The thing was 5 light years, but the device itself, because this thing is tiny. I mean, I guess you could, in theory, work it out from the size of the thing we see in the episode. They gave us some math of how much bigger it is, but that would be insane math. But I assume it's Borg cube sized or bigger, minimum. I kind of assume it was like moon sized. Because 5 light years and a moon is micro, right? It's a dot, a speck of dust. But if it's a planet size, well, that's a beautiful scale. Because then if you spore in, this thing maybe is being controlled by somebody. Because it's huge. I mean, you guys know how big it was? So I'd love to know. Yeah,
Squadra Course has got the first super chat strike with $1, so thank you so much. Sergeant Montgomery, $5. I believe it was the Emerald Chain experiment gone wrong. Maybe I'm trying to create a new form of FTL propulsion. Emerald probably has limited oversights. Yeah.
Well, there's another comment I'll bring into that with the next super chat.
Yeah, I know which one you're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Turd Ferguson, $5. Why didn't the Admiral mention the sphere builders from Enterprise, since manipulation of subspace and time was their thing? Well, the thing is, this is not altering space. This is not terraforming, as it were, even though that's not the correct space forming the space into something different. It's actually just kind of there and roaming around and then disappears. So it's not the same, but they do say the people with the technological know-how to do it, and they kind of rhyme off. What are they? The Metrons, the surviving Iconians, the Nacine, and the Q. So, yeah, I mean, it should have maybe been mentioned, but we're lucky to get those references from Discovery guys.
Although they do love reference Enterprise well this season. Although the thing isn't getting bigger, so just like because the spheres are progressively expanding over time, though, whereas this thing is just creating like V'Ger, it's a set size. So visually, it my certainly brain goes to the sphere builders, but I think it's much more like a V'Ger cloud of like creating its own artificial inhabitant, a defense parameter. I mean, because how many ships can fly through that much rampant gravity fields of unpredictability? When Discovery shields got ramped down to 50% from one hit on the outside, so ships aren't going to survive at the inside.
Yeah. So what's the other comment you wanted to talk about?
Close the thing. Hold on. Because I is smart and I pressed the wrong button. I don't care, YouTube, go away. Oh, it logged me out of YouTube. Oh no.
Let's see here.
Oh, wait, that's the wrong way to do it. You know which one.
Yeah, I'm trying to find it though. But the John McHugh says, but Vulcans were mentioned as working on experimental propulsion tech. The chain weren't. Vulcans were acting too sketchy too. The Navarians.
Well, everyone was working on experimental tech because the first person to do it gets it. And then we know the Emerald running out of dilithium, so of course we'll be looking for other methods. But the one I actually saw was no redux. Is it just a coincidence that only former Emerald Chain worlds and colonies are only targets so far? Because Quajon was a place that was giving money, I believe it was, and stuff to Emerald Chain, and this other colony was next. So that's causation is not whatever the phraseology is, but it's.
Well, that's going to be the thing. It appears that way now, but the next one's going to be totally unrelated to the chain. Like I said earlier, I think Earth is going to be a target at some point. And that's going to be the big, oh my god, we can't let Earth get destroyed.
But it appeared, 2 light years away, so it'll take 4 months to get there, so we've got time, but it's still pressure. If they want to attempt people, they want to give them a chance to stop it, maybe. Maybe it's all a test, Stuart.
Maybe they'll destroy another planet in Earth's solar system, just by mistake.
Wait, the person that never liked Pluto in the production team says, Why did you destroy Pluto? It was never a planet. We'll destroy it and it can't be a planet.
It's not a planet. It is a planet, but it's not. Yeah.
Yes.
Matt Foreman, $5. If you're joining us, please hit that like button. Donkey. Donka. Gracias. Gracias. Thank you. Arigato gozaimasu. Arigato gozaimasu. There you go. Sorry.
And no
thank you.
Lots of thank you is the idea. And No Redux Johnson again says, what if the thing is powering the DMA was a captured queue?
That's interesting.
I actually would be interested in that.
Yeah, then you gotta figure out who's powerful enough to capture a queue.
Well, no, easy. It's another queue that put them in a prison. Another race found the prison, was able to change the prison's like extra genetic material, put that inside a thing, use the energy. You know, we saw already a Q prison. It was an asteroid, and it was a very special asteroid. I mean, that would be super interesting. I mean, how amazing would it be if John Delancey's in the season's Q as well, but like captured Q after Picard Q, because in Picard Q gets in trouble and then gets sent to prison, and because Q is non-temporal, he's then in Discovery. Be weird.
It would be weird. I don't know. I wouldn't mind seeing the Q pop up in Discovery, but you know.
Well, tonally they don't really fit. But I like the idea of a captured Q because it would be sort of unlimited power. But they're not literal gods. There is still a finite X, Y, and Z of what they can do. If this thing is as powerful as a big old sounding star, it's interesting. And then it's an easy solution. Although, remove that of having more than one. I still think we're going to see more than one of these things pop up and it be a ever-increasing threat. That it's not, one disappearing, reappearing. Once they say, it disappears every 14 days, reappears, okay, we've got a 1 out of, 10 billion chance of a big planet being destroyed. Well, if one new one can appear every 5 hours or 10 hours or 2 days or 4 days, then the exponential rate of destruction just is gets massive, And then obviously the power levels of these people is even more massive. Unless obviously they're like the same device then sent back in time to be, paradoxing itself. So now there's like 9 of them at the same time because they're all being sent at different points in time. It'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
You're going to be at one, but we also have time travel, so we can do a time travel weapon attack. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, I guess. Somebody on the Facebook post for this said, "Well, New Trek loves their Section 31. This is Section 31 doing something, and I don't want that at all." Just for the record, but I wouldn't put it past them, honestly, to have some kind of Section 31 involvement. And it's not like it's going to tie into Strange New Worlds or anything. That'd be kind of a neat link. But if anything, a lot of people are speculating as well that it'd be tied into Picard somehow, which I wouldn't have a problem with if it's done well. I know that the season of Picard is shaping up to be better than the first season. So fingers crossed on that. But I don't know, tying it to another show might be very interesting. I just think that it's a little too convenient,
Well, both shows have to succeed to make that a good thing.
Yes, exactly.
Although Dan says, didn't the writers say it was a new threat, but not from season 3? They also said it was an organic, non-man-made threat, and they lied because they were trying to hide spoilers. They said it wasn't a big bad who made a thing, but someone made a thing that caused death, so they were misleading us to make a reveal. So they just told us in the start, some alien race called the Eldians just created this device to kill people. It's like, okay. Then the first 6 would be sort of meaningless as a setup, which is fine. I mean, I'd rather them, I'd rather them wait for it, etc. But yeah.
Unknown species 10C. That's who's responsible. Figure it out. Tony Bell puts in $2 with a comment, but thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Keep the super chats coming, guys.
But Tony has a comment right after a super chat, which obviously is too long for super chat, so.
DMA having to do with red matter explosion in Star Trek 2009. What if the Narada ended up in the prime timeline? Remember, all the red matter exploded on the ship. Well, Discovery's not prime timeline, so.
But
there's Picard.
But the thing is, even the Narada is old tech. And it'd be kind of cool if the Narada appeared As in, if the red matter made it go into the future and into our universe again, and it got stuck somewhere. But also, it also was getting destroyed in the anomaly as well. I mean, red matter it could be interesting, but it's such a nebulous non-entity of a thing.
Well, see, yeah, that's somebody else. That somebody online had said that this will be linked to red matter somehow. You just watch, and considering red matter generates wormholes or black holes. Sorry,
which are also wormholes in this context.
Yeah,
exactly. They do everything.
I could definitely see them doing that, and I kind of went when I read that. I was like, "Oh, no, don't do that." So here's hoping. I don't know.
But I like the thing is I really, really like that it's just basically a wormhole of epic proportion, because we've never had a stable wormhole man created, right? It's always been there's been one stable ever, and it was the Bajon wormhole, which was only stable because it was being created or sustained by god aliens, right? That's where they lived. It was a subspace. It was a portal between dimensions, so it wasn't as if it was just a, it was a really special circumstance. So if this is what it takes to make a successful, stable wormhole, obscene amount of power being used, and gravity waves forming 5 light years, but it does allow you to transmute through. Is that, as a statement of that's the only way this species can create an artificial wormhole stable? Is that enough? Is that too many side effects to sound a bit weird, or is that kind of a fun way of saying it's not God text, it takes this much repercussions to make a stable wormhole? I mean, how much power do the prophets have,
Yeah, I like the idea of the side effects and stuff, but
it's just forcing.
Makes me wonder.
Yeah.
What size was the Hobus star? Because wouldn't it be cool if this links into the Hobus star destruction somehow? Like the Navarians and the Federation find out that the only way to destroy this thing is to actually like detonate something in subspace, whatever, which is linked to the Hobus star. Because the Hobus star explosion was a weird subspace thing.
Yep.
That wouldn't it be cool if, in order to stop this, Navarians they realize that they actually have to destroy Romulus in a sense in the past.
God, piss people off. As in, like, the Romans at that time. It's like, oh my god, we killed our own past?
It's like a predestination paradox type deal. Like, they have to do it. It's already been done.
So what you're saying is Alex Kurtzman, after 12 years, is going to retcon to fix his own feature film called Star Trek 2009 by explaining in the 32nd century a thing was happening. They had to send a subspace tear back in time, destroy. I mean, hey, you know what? It would close a loop of bullshit. And it would link Picard and Discovery even more. And in fairness, that would make a hell of a tense thing where the Romans have got to unanimously vote to go and destroy Romulus. And cause the... But then they could argue, yes, but we found peace 900 years later. Yes, we destroyed it, but yes, we found togetherness.
Exactly. It would be one of those interesting twists that they like to do for the shows like this. Like, I'm just trying to look outside the box. Yeah. Like I said earlier, I don't think it's going to be something devious going on. It's going to be something very innocuous, like somebody just trying to get home, and they don't realize it's causing damage. Like, I can definitely see that being it. I mean, how many times in TNG and Voyager and stuff did they go to a planet and the planet's experimenting with something and they realize that it's like punching holes in the ship from the planet's surface by accident that nobody knows about because they left the array on, stuff like that. It happens all the time. So, I don't know.
No, and it would also be doubly interesting if the wormhole is actually a time wormhole made by somebody in the Picard era before the Hobus star who's trying to get to the future, but their way is really ineffective. I mean, we've always seen that you can still... I mean, Discovery got into the present, this new present, so they're not actively detecting and stopping time travel anymore because they can't. So,
Tony Bell throws in another $2 and commented earlier. He says, I find it interesting how they didn't mention Romulan supernova and possibly wormhole and past. The lack of mention makes me worry.
I mean, there's a billion things you could mention. Why not mention the Bajoran wormhole or, you know.
Yeah, and as he says, the fact they didn't mention the supernova makes me worry they're heading in the red matter direction. Wow.
I mean, there's no direct tie, so that would be more you adding to it than them talking about it. But I mean, would that be interesting though if someone, because if it's at the Hobo supernova, then you can have Patrick in it. You can have the entire TNG cast. You could have Sneakwer go back into the past in theory if they go through, and then you could successfully have a Discovery TNG crossover or Discovery Picard crossover. But it also be, and what if it would it be interesting if it was the Borg of the past are trying an alternate time thing, and that all Romulans of the past, their first time travel, and they destroyed their own star.
Yeah, like that would be good.
Well, what if they're using their star to power it? What if the Hobus star
that's what I was saying.
Oh,
that's what I was saying. That's the only way they can destroy this DMA in the future is to destroy the Hobus star.
It's destroy the power source.
Yes.
Huh.
But anyway, as you mentioned too, the Borg would be. This is one instance I wouldn't mind seeing the Borg come back. If the Borg realized, whenever they got defeated, or whatever happened to them, that they were on the path to being defeated, they thought, well, let's send some ships to the future, or let's whatever.
Yep.
Try to hedge our bets.
Yep.
And that's what this is. This is the beginning of it. And all of a sudden, you're going to see like a huge Borg invasion fleet,
Borg
like
invasion,
Armada, come through. Like that'd be interesting.
Super interesting.
But yeah, the Hobus thing. When I mentioned the Hobus thing, that's what I was assuming. Like maybe they're using the star to power it in the past via some subspace tunnel or link. I don't know.
Because if they're Romulans, I mean, they've got. Because I'm trying to think what's cheap. Cheap, right? Romulans were allowed to be villains in the past because now they're heroes, but they're allowed to be villains. So that sets that as a. We're not breaking canon per se. We know Hobus explodes. It doesn't change the effect of it because we get to then retcon everything we want, but we get to really explore it. Burnham can go back into the past, which means they get to meet other people, and because they have the schematics of all the ships, they can then wear Picardo uniforms, like replicate them. So now we can see Sneakwer and Saru, whatever, in Starfleet uniforms, meeting with Picard, who would be more the Titan with Hobus, I believe, at the time. I mean, that actually sounds really exciting, and a way of them retconning carefully. And then it also makes this the reason for obviously 09, which is pretty.
Yeah.
But and it means it's a double sad because now it confirms that Romulans cause Romulus destruction, which then causes the Romulan to go back and fuck up another timeline because of his own people, which was not clear.
Yes.
And one more. Sorry, hold on for that. One more.
No, go ahead.
What if what if it's now said and they're going to retcon? What if the reason Romulans couldn't get out is because when the Hobus star explodes, it enters subspace with gravity waves, just like this. Maybe it disables all artificial singularities, and so the Romulans' power sources become neutralized, so their ship fleet becomes irrelevant. We never heard their own escape fleet, so that'd be a retcon. Now only other ships can rescue anyone from Romulan space, and now it's like, well, now we really can't build enough ships because they haven't got any ships left. Now that would retcon everything into a really nice little bow, and you still wouldn't know, they wouldn't know who caused Hobus, and wow.
It's too perfect for the Discovery writers, but I like your train of thought.
Now is your train of, I mean, I'll give you credit, that's a, because that would retcon so much.
Because that would explain why, because everybody's like, why can't the Romulans just evacuate their own, they got a huge fleet, they got multiple planets, they got lots of ships. Yeah, but if this does link to their singularity cores, power cores somehow, and they basically they basically burned themselves. Yeah. That's interesting. Wow.
No, that's fantastic.
I was going to say, jumping in there, it's not without precedent because they've already mentioned the Kelvin universe in Discovery. So them tying that in, they've already mentioned Picard. Like they're kind of shotgunning approach to everything. They're just going to include all the Star Treks. It seems so. It opens up a whole litany of possibilities what this thing could be, man.
And obviously the writing of this season and last season gives us actual excitement about it, but then you could easily have then, if Hobus is now, we're back at the Hobus situation, which we've never really seen, now you have Kate Mulgrew as a DH Janeway, Patrick as a DH Picard, both on contract with CBS, both in full uniform, either on LED sets or by build a set, and but now you've got them both being able to be utilised fully, Admiral and Captain, fan recognition, the crossover nature of then you've got, because that would be within 7 episodes time if this massively becomes a thing, and now you've got promotion for Picard season 2 and Prodigy season 2, season 1 inside of Discovery season 4. That's really interesting. And then, oh no, I hope this is okay. I was going to say maybe the protostar drive is linked in this. It's a non-subspace drive, but that's too good though, because then you could have Riker meet Cynic Martin Green and Patrick, because that's the ultimate like win for them, isn't it? It's the two, because you can never uncanonize if they go back in time into the and meet Patrick, and and then Geordie's there on the E or whatever. What do you guys think? God damn.
We got
Tell
some
us.
super chats.
Whew.
Look at this brainstorming session already.
Whew.
The big brains are in the house.
God.
Turd
That's amazing.
Ferguson puts in $2. It's Gold Ducat and Power Wraith laughing my fucking ass off. I mean, sure. I would love Cisco to come back at some point, and this is the results of that, or this causes that. That'd be awesome. But I just don't think we're going to get to see Avery Brooks, and I don't know if I want to see Cisco that's not Avery Brooks. So, Captain Kurt puts in $5. Merry Christmas, guys. Didn't Discovery cross a major gravity anomaly when traveling through time? Was that ever explained?
I don't remember, but it was just a thing they did. Move on. It was their philosophy.
Yeah, I don't know. I seem to recall something now that you mentioned that. But it's gonna. I think another thing too is that the sphere data is going to factor into this somehow as either the solution or the cause.
Well, and it might even be just a case of Zora has all the information. They're just not asked the nice questions of passing A, B, and C and together, bump, and now that makes more sense.
Yeah. Dan says, is the Hobus star the Romulan star for the destruction of the planets? So, Sergeant Montgomery, $2. Maybe a sect of Romulans who didn't join Navarre. Could be. Well, I like the original hypothesis we came to, is it's a detached Federation convoy or whatever that after the burn tried to initiate something, maybe got slingshot to another galaxy. Let's just use another galaxy because it's exciting. And they've been there for 125 years working on this technology to get back to their home galaxy. And that's what this is. This thing is reaching out, trying to open a stable wormhole from where they are back home. And that's the thing. Everybody's going to be so wrapped up and bitter. Book's going to be angry. Everybody's going to be like, why are they destroying people? Why are they doing this? Why? And then once you find out who they are, it's either them, different versions of themselves, or somebody that didn't mean to cause any harm and is just literally trying to get home. So it takes away all the power of the anger that has been building up all season with the destruction of all these planets. That's kind of the vibe that I would love to see. I would love to see that.
The issue being is that they'll then throw us genuinely evil, potentially evil or menacing Starfleet, just a Section 31 replacement. They'd have to be a really good Federation with it, but then where's the drama after that? This is when I said, okay, now they've got their own president, they've got their own Starfleet CNC, and they're both like named actors that would recognise, right? Because that's kind of fun. And so then you've got scenes where the president and Vance speak to other president, other Vance, just like when we had, Pegasus and Galactica come together, and it's like, well, who's in command? Oh, well, you are, but if you've got two presidents from two colonies, etc., that would be great, although where's the drama after that? Don't know.
And Moto Aviator says, did Foley, I don't know who Foley is, say Discovery isn't Prime Trek? Well, I certainly said that because it's not the Prime timeline, it's the Discoverse. It's obvious. Anyone that has a brain. He
is playing, but it's for technical visuals, he's not wrong, but he's just
It's just my thing.
It's hard to.
The Discoverse. It's the only way I can really enjoy it.
Yeah, they retcon too many things for it to be proper Trek in the same way. But it is. Therefore, you can judge them on it.
Yeah. Yeah. Tony Bell throws in another $2.
Tony.
He says one more idea. What if Terrans are trying to find a way into this universe? Discovery has had more Terran episodes than just about any series to this point. What if? Well, that's interesting because as we learned last season with the reference to the Kelvin universe and you're coming over or crossing over as a time agent, but we also learned that the two universes, the mirror universe and our universe, are diverging quite a bit. Could be that, yes, they want to negate that and actually have a link again. So they are trying to reconnect, and that would also work as these things are trying to open up a wormhole between the two universes.
Well, my God, can you imagine a Terran burn?
Yeah.
It just happened to happen at the same time, and it's not the same exact thing.
And they think it's a deliberate attack on them. Let's say it did rupture and go into their universe as well, the whole burn thing.
Well,
they realized it came from us, from our,
Ooh.
and so they think it's a deliberate attack. So they're coming to retaliate when it was all just a big mistake.
The problem with that, though, is that then you're saying the burn destroyed other universes, in which case you've now got trillions upon trillions upon trillions. Like, that fucking Zukal there needs to be shot. Because if he killed
subspace,
millions of trillions of billions of trillions of gazillions of lives, that's too many. Trillions is enough, you know?
It was subspace, so it could be linked.
Yeah.
Can you imagine that?
No, I can't. That's too many. But I prefer the idea that they had their own version of the burn, something of this. And obviously, it's whole its own thing, right? It's a more gritty version of Starfleet, but it's still something close. And so they're trying to get pulled over to try and find answers here, or dilithium here. And it's like, hello, we're from the Mirror Universe. Are you evil? No, we're fine. And it's Mirror Vance, and I mean, it's
Lorca.
Not, oh God, yeah. I mean, it's not that
Prime Lorca trying to get back.
God damn. It's not that interesting. Like, it's far more interesting to be a contemporary version of the Starfleet.
Yeah.
But they said in episode 3 or whichever episode, it looks like artificial wormhole, but without delta pop rays, whatever. But it is a wormhole now they know it's being created, and it's disappeared and reappeared. So it has got some wormhole tech in it, even if it's not conventional. It creates ripping subspace, blah blah blah. So it is capable of transporting something somewhere, some who, and because it's huge, it can transport something big.
Yeah.
What if, little curveball here, what if it's trying to move a planet? Because light years.
What if it's a Romulan experiment to move Romulus before the destruction of the Hobus Star destroyed Romulus? Dun dun dun. No.
No.
He's thinking, yo.
Because would a gravity shockwave
Well, let's be
look
fair.
the same as a
Both-
Hopus?
I don't know. Both appearances of it were around a star. One was in the Quajon system. The next one was the colony that had the star right there.
That's true.
Are they trying?
That
are
is
they trying
true.
to park? Are they trying to park a planet somewhere within? And since Quajon was inhabited, it was close enough that it was like within the habitable zone. So is somebody trying to park a planet into a solar system? Because
you're right. You say next to a star, and you're like, what? But yeah, they obviously was a star both places. There's livable places. Yeah, we saw them. Yeah, I mean, the universe is so vast. To be that close to a star is super, small percentage unit 5 light years wide. Mm-hmm. That's really interesting. Yeah, that is already a coincidence of big proportion. I mean, like I say, if it's big enough to move a planet, that's great. And maybe they'll say as the power increases, maybe they're actually testing the thing, right? It's purely tests so far now as they amp the power up, because whatever race is trying to come, that's how they do it. They move planets, and this is just testing. Because I said before, if it's through the Great Barrier, they have to punch the Great Barrier, and this is very special technology. Yes, it's somewhat deadly, dangerous, but only if you're near. It's not passively destructive. It's only if you are close to something, and the chance of that is very small. And so it'd be nice if it shifts more frequently now, and 9 times out of 10 it's not near anything, and they're like, what's the connection? And they just happen to be 2 times out of the 10, whatever. Moving planet's interesting though.
Yeah, if the third instance of it pops up, I mean, to be any threat to anybody, it's really going to have to be in a solar system regardless, right? Because it's either a planet or a station or something. Could be there's a deep space station that if it pops up, there's no star around necessarily. But so far, that's kind of been the thing. So I like it. Planet movers. We'll move your planet. No need for you to do anything.
But you can imagine a visual of a planet phasing through, and then it all goes away, and it's like, because I mean, if they literally have the power to generate this thing, they have the power to have a shield over a planet. We saw it in the episode with Picard on that Roman planet. They can shield a planet. That's not the end of their thing. Gosh, yeah.
It's the Kelvin Enterprise crew trying to move Vulcan before the Narada destroyed it.
Gosh.
Yeah, maybe when Vulcan like got sucked into the red matter wormhole, this is like it coming out hole, so everybody will be alive. And no, okay, moving on.
Well, that's the thing though. Is it cleverer for them to link to an old thing or to invent a new thing? Like, is it more fun to see a new alien race or something like this that's very tied, very tied in?
That goes back to what I think about Enterprise when I tuned up for season 3. Like, why create a whole new race or species that is attacking Earth? Like, you got so many to choose from. But that being said, this Indy did turn out to be pretty fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
So both are good. I mean, linking to something in the past, if it's done well and thought out very smartly, I have no problem. That shows me that the writers know what the fuck they're talking about and they care.
Hey, Nestine, that's a specific got to research it quote, or the Nadine, whatever they said to them. I don't know the name off the top of my head.
The Nadine. Yeah.
Well, and nope, lost it. Anything?
Oh shit! The Nadine. The Nadine.
No, it was before that. It was.
What's better, old or new species?
Yeah.
Or ideas, or linking to something from the
past. Oh yes, yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. I was gonna say, well, they did. I mean, last year they did do The Guardian of Forever, ballsy as hell thing to do, and reasonably successful. You know, and there was in what two episodes, and that was a sidestep the season, right? That wasn't the main plot. That was literally just let's get Michelle Yeoh off the show. But it was a very much a boom. Here's the thing, and you know the burn itself was only caused by an existing race that they invented. So there weren't many new things that they were using existing things. So that is the current MO is to use the past, or at least use the universe, which is great. So there's definitely more possibility.
See, that's the thing though. Then they get accused of, well, they can't stand on their own 2 feet. They're using a crutch by bringing in all this other stuff. So there's arguments can be made both ways, whether you're.
I'd like to think there was less people that said, "Ooh, Archer Station is fan service," versus that makes sense. Good job.
Yeah, I know.
I saw someone comment on the Vulcan, the ship video we did, saying, "Oh, I guess Vulcan design haven't changed in 2,000 or 1,000 years. How lazy is that, guys?" And I commented, "Well, it doesn't look any more advanced." I said, "Well, it does look more advanced, and it's a great design. Like that's great. We should celebrate them for their good choice of just making something that looks about right, nice. Like that's great. Yeah. Don't complain. Seriously, that's exactly what we want, which is a nice evolution of a design that works in this new era. Good. Don't bitch. What are you doing? That's a really nice sign." Please give them credit for that, you know? Please.
Yeah, and in the chat, people are asking who the Nacine are. They're the caretaker, essentially.
Yeah, I know. I guess it was one of the books. No, it's not. It was in Kess's when the second one is seen. They say it. The wife of the caretaker. They say then. Yeah. Carlos, have Disco Riders ever been clever in the first place? Yes, this season, last season they have. Yep.
Guys, we need another 22 likes at least. Hit that like button. We got 123 of you here, but only 78 likes. Hit that like button. I want at least another $70. That's our first super chat target we'll aim for. So a couple 5s, some 10s. If you have any ideas or theories or things you'd like to tie in with other things that we've missed, speak away, because we would love to talk about it. These always generate really great ideas, these brainstorming sessions.
Yep.
Like I'll sit down for a live like this, and I'm like, we'll talk, and we have a few ideas, and then all of a sudden we start like formulating new ideas, and somebody else says something. It's such a great conversation. So if you could take part in it and super chat and help us out at the same time, please do, because we'd really like to talk about it.
Yeah, this is pretty much one of our last lives of the year, and this month is our worst in several years. So an extra $100 is absolutely minimum. Honestly, we need to get at least 150 just to make break even sort of level. We know it's not going to be a great month, but it is Christmas, and I'm certainly going to be in. That being said,
I did a live last night and did pretty good with super chats, so that helps bolster numbers too.
That's true. Well done. But it's sad to see you'll be in debt this year, like this month.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, no, I'm already. This is like
happens all the time.
Well, it's like, can we creep over that debt number? It's like, negative. But I'm going to get some ice brief because it's actually quite hot. I'll be back 1 second.
Okay.
I want to see at least those 5 likes for 100. I want to see it.
Yeah, 5 more likes, guys. Tony Bell throws in another $1, which is awesome. Thank you so much. Those all add up, guys. He says, if I was writing the show, I would show a planet killer at the heart of the thing, and then expand on that from TOS. Planet killer is a good idea. You know, they had pretty powerful power cores as well. Ooh. Gave me an idea for when Samuel comes back. Let's talk about that. Bum, 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 bum. One more like, guys. Get to 100. Hit that like button. There's 120 of you guys here. So if you are new, just joining us, haven't hit the like button, hit it. Hit the like button. Yeah, I don't want to talk about too much about it without Samuel here because he won't hear it. And maybe it is making a planet killer. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm going to talk about when Samuel gets back, Jeff. I'm telling you, it's the burning red angel suit and a cracked time crystal. Oh, oof, arf. Yeah, that's another great theory, actually. So yeah, once he gets back on here, I'll talk about this. So. All right, we have 104 likes. That's awesome. He won't be mad at us because when he gets back, we got the 100. But still keep hitting that like button. Our next goal is 120. Not throws in $2. Only Captain Michael Burnham can save us now. Right? Somebody mentioned, Tony Bell mentioned the Doomsday Machine. Now, what if? You know that they were pretty powerful, had pretty powerful power sources.
Yeah.
What if the people that made them didn't all get destroyed? There were a few outliers or a few survivors. They've since, this is their new version of the Planet Killer. They're either trying to build a legitimate, larger Planet Killer. This is like the power source. They're trying to get things organized, or this is their new version. Could you imagine bringing back the people that created the Doomsday Machine? As that would be awesome, actually. If it's done well. So.
Well, yeah, if it was, you know, it'd be just so funny if this is the we're gonna retcon TOS, and yet we're gonna keep bringing TOS classic elements but modernized and now in this new spin. So yeah, if you have this maybe their planet, maybe it is a teleportation. Maybe their planet comes in, and it's flanked by 3 Doomsday machines, like new versions. And it's like, damn, Doomsday Machine versions 2, and it's like, so now we've got to face these ships, and big space battles ensue. Yeah, but I mean that would be very malicious then.
Oh, absolutely. Feed Me Seymour says, I'm telling you, it's Burnham's Red Angel suit and a cracked time crystal. Where did she send her suit to, by the way?
No, she blew it up.
Did she?
Yeah, she sent it up into the sky and it blew up.
Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't nothing impressive, it just blew up.
Fine then.
Well, she sent it back to give the signal to Spock to say she made it, then it blew up. Because the vortex was closing, so it doesn't exist anymore. Yeah, no, it's not a good story with that, it just blew up. It's nothing impressive. But now the other Red Angel suit that the mum had, that still exists and is with whoever picked her up, etc. So there is a Red Angel suit out there. Although they can make a new one in, 45 minutes.
2 seconds.
Yeah, so, easy peasy.
Squadra Course says, what if the people creating the anomaly are the ones that Doomsday Machines were created to fight against?
Dun,
dun, dun.
I mean, you've still got to have the idea of it's still hundreds of years late, right? And the fact that it disappeared and reappeared implies it's an active threat, isn't a lost system, or isn't a time delay thing. It's just an active thing.
Marcus throws in €5 with no comment, but thank you very much. See, all those little things add up. So if you could do that, that'd be awesome.
And euros are worth more than dollars, so it's fun to see. It's a nice little jumping over when we hit euros. Like 10 euros, I was like, ooh, 10, haha. Okay, okay, let me throw something else in then and link all those things together. So Doomsday Machine, yes, big marvel of technology, the strongest material, whatever, really cool thing, right? What if a remnant of the species, like you said, that built it, survived on a colony ship, went to hibernation, a la Space Seed, floated for 900 years, because all we have to do is cryogenically freeze, and you've now got that nice bit of, there you go. Then they, with all their advanced technology, found no dilithium, a universe with weirdly lack of space stuff, but maybe they're trapped on the other side of because the thing drifted for 900 years. So maybe they're in the edges of the gamma quadrant, right? And they're like, well, we want to get back to the alpha quadrant. That's where we lived. No dilithium, but they know a way of transmogrify space, whatever it's, and they do this thing, and then, so that's how powerful they are. And when they come in, it's like, hello, and they're like, oh, who are you guys? We're this, and Varsler scans like, oh, you created a Doomsday machine, did we? And we fought them in the 2700s, did you? Yes, you killed 10 billion people. You guys are under arrest. No, we're not. What do you mean? And that, they're so powerful that you just can't deal with them. They're like magicians almost. Would that be interesting? What do you think?
Yeah, I would buy that for $1.
But
Well,
then,
and regardless, they're going to be technologically advanced and very hard to defeat. So either way, that's going to be the case, really. So. Perhaps this is an extragalactic power trying to find out why the dilithium stopped working.
yeah, well, that's kind of what I alluded to there. Yeah, no, absolutely. But then why are they disappearing and reappearing?
Like you said earlier, it's the first tests of the machine before they actually do the final run through. How many episodes of TNG did they do stuff like that, like the Soliton wave and stuff, where things didn't always go quite right because they were there to witness an experiment or have a scientist help out, and things kind of went wrong.
Kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, for sure. But if it was only 4/13 seconds later, that's extremely quick.
Carlos A. Smith says Doomsday Machine was never mentioned as a future entity. No, it was mentioned as an ancient.
Yeah.
Like long ago, this thing's been drifting for a long time, but they're long since dead. But like I said, if some survived and repopulated somewhere else, and then they want to reestablish their hold on, it could be. This could be a temporal anomaly.
Maybe.
Yeah.
William, I, which one do you mean? That's more. Okay, cool. I didn't see that email because I haven't checked for a little while.
Eternal Ryan says maybe it's species 8472 in floated space. I don't think it's going to be species 8472.
I mean, those would be fantastic as like seeing them done in full CG new. They look fantastic at the time, but visibly they would look really cool to come back.
And Tony says one more theory: what if it was from the spore aliens themselves? But I hate that kind of idea. Oh, they were mentioned in the last episode.
Well, they're also non-temporal, I believe. I think they said.
Yeah, they're like the wormhole of prophets. The aliens, non-linear.
Yeah, but what was the idea we had a second ago? I wanted to talk about. I almost said it, and then you said about the spore aliens. Ah, boo.
Trek Reviewer says, "What if it's the Sphere Builders from Enterprise?" It's not the Sphere Builders.
Well, they were defeated in the past.
Yeah, plus they're not terraforming or whatever forming space. They're not converting our space into their space for them to inhabit it. So
yeah,
maybe.
I mean, that's the thing. It's an interestingly, seemingly innocuous anomaly unless you're close to something. But what? Maybe they're looking at a. Sometimes you look at the effect, sometimes you look at the cause, but sometimes you miss the reaction within that. What does extreme gravity waves do? Just like with Generations, how he had to destroy a star to move another thing. It wasn't the effect, it was the effect of the effect. So what if the thing
Yeah.
appearing at certain points changes the gravity? I mean, obviously it changed the gravity and destroyed that sun. We would assume, or did something, move the position of the sun around the anomaly, the colony, because that's what happened. So what if it's affecting 4 or 5 different things, which then cause galactic affectedness?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's such a small potatoes thing to do, but
But in the grand scheme of things, if it's from somebody in the future who's trying to basically terraform the universe to whatever they need, send the device back and make small changes in the past that have a big impact on the future. Sure.
I don't know if future is going to be. I don't think it'll be time travel again.
I don't think they will either. But we do need to see a temporal anomaly.
Someone should say it. For sure, for sure. It's just the idea of it being a non-malice thing. I just prefer that so much.
Yeah, me too. But then everybody would be like, I'm so disappointed in the reveal of the DMA.
I wasn't that sad that Sean hated the thing.
Yeah.
Although I thought you had a beautiful explanation as to why you liked it, and he was clearly kind of couldn't respond fully because he was like, "Damn, that was a well said state." You know what I mean? Like you got him there a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's obviously personal gut reaction. Mm-hmm. I don't think whenever you say it felt like TNG, it's hard to kind of complain if you say it felt like TNG. That's like the best compliment, really. You kind of got him there. What was the
Vance said it's unlike anything the Q Continuum has done before, but in all good things, Q was pretty cosmically destructive. But not really, because it's just kind of a Picard reality thing. I don't think it was actually like any kind of real stakes on the line as far as Q was concerned. It was like a test. It's like all, in Picard's little universe, like his own little holodeck. I don't know. I can't see the Continuum destroying anything like that.
Oh, that's it. They did destroy stars as part of their war. So, when they fight, they are destructive.
That's the very nature of fighting.
Galactic fighting.
Yeah.
At least we know it's a very understandable tech, right? It was only the power source that was radically cool. Everything else was literally recreatable that day. Because remember, the thing disappeared that day. It wasn't as if they had any time to research it. It was that day. So they do know how it works. That said, it's odd that they didn't want to run any theoretical experiments. They had to do it physically. I don't know how many things we have to come into play to work out. Surely if you know all the... If you know how everything works inside, where's the surprise element there of its end effect? Unless it is kind of like it's so advanced that unless you... Like, they know how all the pieces work, but they can't understand the complexity of the circuitry. And therefore, even though they can replicate one-to-one, how it all actually interacts at, the high echelons. Because they seem so surprised, but it's like, well, you have scans. You could do the algorithmic, how does it work? You should know from just the scans, really.
Feed Me Seymour says, Rise, a scientist has an idea. I can't remember his name. It was Tarka.
Yeah.
So it is connected to Risa. Yes, the Risians. They've taken their weather control technology and want to start controlling the universe weather. Tony Bell, $1. Thank you so much. Sergeant Montgomery, $5. Awesome. How about the Kelvin universe snapping back into the Prime, kind of like a mini Big Bang within the Prime universe? Okay, that broke my head. Sure, I mean...
But it's a device. And it's not doing anything to space at all. It's just making gravity. Well, it's making a wormhole. It's very specific, That's how we have an entire episode where you just ignore it. It's how undangerous it is.
Yeah.
Well, it's like a tornado, right? If you're not near a tornado, it ain't doing anything, damage-wise, to people. Whereas if it goes in the middle of the city, it's fucking shit up. But if it's not, it's there.
Yeah,
It's always,
that's exactly what it's like. Yeah. Hmm. I don't know. We've run a pretty good gamut of scenarios.
But the Hobus one really pisses me off how good it is, though. Because also it would link to the... I'm sure, like, the idea of Picard Season 2 being this alternate universe and time... You can imagine the first half of the season dealing with reality shifting, and then once he comes back, Q puts him in the body of his younger self, and he has to deal with Burnham. Like, and he explains, she's from the future, Picard, after he just dealt with 20th century cop guys. Like, really weird, confusing weekend for Patrick Stewart as Picard, you know? We have a lot of fun with that. But one of my only issues about all the connection stuff, and I've said this before, because it's only logical, is that there isn't one future. If there was one future, then Endgame wouldn't be a thing that could happen. They change the future in every single Trek show, literally every single Trek show. So by going to the future, this can't be the future. Otherwise, any other time travel episode, any other thing, they say anything's changed. That means that once Burnham went into the future, it was always going to be this way. So, when X, Y was, Endgame was never going to happen because it was always going to unhappen. Even though it did unhappen once. That's not how time travel works in the Trek universe. You undo things. You have to reset things. You have to go back and restore things if you want to restore things. There isn't one future. There is we're trying to sort of, in the present, keep the future going. They had to, put things back in place for Cochrane and hope it doesn't change too much, etc. Except they maybe did change some stuff, but it wasn't a huge wave, etc. So it's so this stuff, if it links to Picard, then we basically mean that everyone can never tell time travel stories in the Trek universe because they're all irrelevant. You can never change anything, so always going to end up with this future. Well, that's not interesting. So really, it's Burn only happened in one future, which is more exciting, And it'd be great in its own way if Burnham and crew do go back into the past, with the Hobus, and then come back into the present, and the burn never happened. They
Yeah. I'm trying to find out what class the Hobus star was, whether it was a hypergiant or what it was, but I can't find anything on it.
I mean, I don't think they'd want to in 09 give any specifics of any kind. That leaves them in trouble if they start being specific.
Yeah.
Oh yes, that was what David. Thank you. Yes, what I was going to suggest. Yeah, the tentacle monster at the end of Picard.
Oh yes.
They can create a tiny time, dimension portal, but maybe this thing is to, it's like Omicron, from Transformers. They're trying to bring their planet through to finally.
Unicron.
Thank you. And so they're doing this, and as a way of self-preservation, because maybe they've tried a couple of times. The gravity waves to stop other people from coming in close. Yeah, man.
I think we're being too clever about this.
Well, that's a foregone conclusion, man.
All right, Trekyards says it is the ISS Charon mycelial power core. Wasn't destroyed, absorbed Loka. We've seen glimpses of the Charon on Kovich's terminal. Really? And Kovich is an expert in Mirror Universe, perhaps Lorca in disguise. When did we see the Charon on his terminal? When did we see Kovich's terminal? What?
Because when he was talking about Michelle Yeoh, her history,
Oh.
Charon was on the screen.
Well, yeah, that would make sense, I guess.
Yeah. But what do you think about being the evil alien? Oh, but it's just the Picard aliens. They're just more for a third year out of another artificial AI from the future, but obviously the present is the big bad. Oi.
I don't know. A lot of people have suggested that, and again, talking about tying in with Picard, and I don't know how I feel about that.
They were such a non-entity. How would you be excited? It's like they were.
If it ties into Picard at all, I want it to be via Q somehow. I think that would work.
I mean, Q could appear on Discovery for some reason. As in with Picard. Just snap into the future. Look, Picard, because of what you do here, this woman gets to become the head of the Federation. hello, I'm Michael Burnham. Oh, hello. And we're like,
I've
oh.
seen enough. I'll change my ways. Ghost of Ghost of Christmas Future.
Sergeant Montgomery says the Hobus Star is an Endeavoron system, same system as Farm episodes TNG. No, it's not. What do you mean? What? No. That doesn't sound likely at all.
Zora said this week that she developed emotions, the ability to feel, and that it was a recent development. What if the DMA is like her? The story data is searching for her. It is not implied that DMA is attracted by the Discovery. No, it's not at all. If anything, Discovery is attracted to the DMA. We gotta send the Discovery. Ship that get there on time.
Yeah, nothing on the memory alpha page that says Hobus was on the Deveron, so I don't know where you're getting that from.
It's Badgie.
Yeah.
Oh, good God. No, it's Peanut Hamper.
Yeah.
It's a fur ball that Grudge coughed up. Stephen Seymour wants to see a live action Cerritos and have the DMA be caused by the Cerritos somehow.
But, oh yeah. But I thought in Picard they retconned it as it was Romulan star that went supernova. Didn't they?
I think that was...
Because they're not the same star. We know they're not the same star.
Yeah.
But if I search Hobus Star Trek, there's no memory alpha page. There's only memory beta page. Oh, because that... Okay, memory beta page, it says the Hobus Star was stellar body located in Beta Quadrant's Deveron sector. And that says Romulan Star Empire. And that's from Countdown, which is obviously not remotely canon at this point, like even remotely, so...
Oh, it's from the prequel comics.
Which
so
doesn't mean jack. Doesn't mean anything, because in that, Data's alive. So yeah, that's as non-canon as you can get at this point.
Look, it's the Enterprise F, and there's Data as captain.
And Picard's there, and everything else they got wrong.
Ambassador. All right. How we adjust the scar on the back of the Rising Scientist next? Perhaps the aliens from Conspiracy. Yes, we talked about that during our live review. In this one, we talked. I think it's more likely that it's part of the Emerald Chain torture. Because we already kind of seen that, and the fact that he had the schematics for this thing, and perhaps he already had that in his brain before he got tortured, and somebody took the information and then developed a full-size one based on his research. There's a lot going on there. There was a very clear undertone as far as, at least music-wise and dialogue-wise during that scene, that there's more there than meets the eye for sure. So,
well, they wouldn't. Yeah, they wouldn't show that scar, but certainly the implied implication directly is that he apologizes to Stamets and says, sorry for what he went through, and he's like, what? Oh, the Emerald Chain mind torture to make do what they wanted. Science was. Oh yeah, that I forgot about because it was only doing for like an episode.
In Sabanur says the aliens from a conspiracy wouldn't draw attention to the back of its host's neck. Not happening. No, well, it wasn't there anymore. If that is the link, it looks like somebody like gouged it out to pull it out, because it wasn't just a little blue gill sticking out. It was like a big scar.
Yeah, it looked like a branding mark that someone had tried to burn off.
Yeah.
It looked like he was cattle at one point, which he's not Federation. He's not Starfleet, so he knows cutting edge of all the stuff. So it makes sense that the Emerald Chain officer was whatever.
Yeah.
But and everyone says the back of the neck thing to be linked to the conspiracy aliens, but like what scar? They left a little hole and they leave your body, and then.
That's what I'm saying. If somebody wanted to remove it, they'd have to gouge it out if they didn't have the proper surgical tools.
I see what you mean.
Like you want to start gouging it out.
Yeah, but it's the mega future. You just beam it out.
No, if you don't have a transporter.
Not if you have a transporter.
If you're just on a prison or, a colony somewhere.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah. Okay. No, that's sold me a little bit. Certainly, if they're the conspiracy aliens, that's great. Not much else happens at the back of the neck in Trek. And, retconning, they're a big bad in theory. It just took, just like the Borg in Enterprise a retcon, the signal took hundreds of years to get back to the Delta Quadrant. Well, the signal took 900 years to get back to the Andromedan Galaxy. And then as soon as they get it, wouldn't that be amazing, Stuart, if, like, in episode 7 we see the official report from the conspiracy aliens, and it's like season 1 footage just replayed because they send it verbatim. And it's like, here it is. And they're like, who is that? That's Captain Picard and Riker. And they fought these aliens? Yes, and this is a signal they sent. And it's like, and we get that great scene of them shooting phasers that are so slow. And he's like, that's the footage they showed. It's like, yes, firefights. And all the news Trek fans are like, the fuck is this?
The Stanley says explosive slave collar. Yeah, implant the explosive in the neck. So if you cross the line, it blows up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Christopher Beatty, $5. I'll throw this out.
Ooh.
I'll throw out this bad idea. It's the protostar.
Well, that would be bombing the future is a pretty every time they use it, it causes a. But that doesn't make sense, does it? Because it's a little thing that makes it.
MC throws in $5. What does the power relation Vance says between the Federation and the far more advanced enemy tell you about the strength of groups like the Borg Dominion? I'm confused by your statement. Relation Vance says between the Federation and far more advanced enemy tell you about the strength of groups like the Borg and Dominion. I don't know what you mean, MC. Sorry. Area 51 throws in $5. Thank you so much. Educated guess given Trek's writing since 2009. It's just some bad guy who wants revenge on the Federation because they made him mad or something. Sure. Wouldn't put it past them. Ensign Ricky, $5. Notice how the Ryzian didn't re-mention the Q on his conclusion? I'm telling you, I called it first. They're going to link Picard to Discovery. Yeah, he listed off the Metrons. He says, I could have told you it wasn't the Metrons or the Iconians or the Nacine, but he didn't mention the Q. I did notice that. But how much would people know about the Q that aren't in Starfleet, though? I think a lot of those files might be kind of classified. I don't think just the average Joe scientist would know about the Q necessarily. Just a thought.
The Q is such that they would talk to many species throughout many parts of the history.
Yeah.
And there's no reason that Starfleet would have records of all of them, because Q can just turn up and then leave, and you won't necessarily report every single thing. If you're not in Starfleet, why do you tell people? So I don't think the Q disappearing is really what's happening. I think it's just a case of, we finally passed the test in the 2600s, and then, Picard was dead and didn't come back. But there's certainly other places. I didn't even notice they didn't mention it in that time. But the Q's tricky, because the Q's ambiguity is part of the fun. And Q's also non-temporal, so Q already lives in this future. He already lives in the past. He already is. He's already, he's... It's tricky.
Dan says Captain Sisko knew about Q because he attended a conference on it. Yeah, and he was in Starfleet.
And the commander.
Yeah, you get trained that. Yeah, you're not going to tell every ensign necessarily about it either.
Mm-hmm.
It's one of those need to know things, and you would get, this is what happened to a Starfleet vessel with the Q, and
he was second in command of the Saratoga, 2 years after the Q incident. So there might have been briefings with every captain, every commander of every main ship, because the Mariners weren't terribly awful at the time, saying, just so you guys know, there's these new life forms we discovered, and they're a bit screwy. Watch out. As we've learned, there are not that many commanders in Starfleet on ships. It is actually, there's one or two per ship, and there's only going to be several thousand ships at max, so there's only 7,000 commanders, and that memo is not, that's a very small percentage of people at the billion people in Starfleet, whatever, tens of millions. So I see no problem in him getting it and, You know, that said, obviously Mariner and such, they all know about Q, but obviously that's a slightly different mythology of they know about everything because they're Trek fans inside the Trek universe. So a little bit harder to reconcile. Depends where you go with that.
Dave L says, not sure I'd like Q having anything to do with this. I kind of agree.
Well, not to do with it directly because it's still a device causing it. It would be more something else nuancy about it. Because the fact that it was a buildable device, you know, it'd be fun if they'd got scans and they don't know how any of it works, so they just make it and they look at it like it's a physical prop they build, right? Because they didn't really make a physical prop in the episode; it was just like a CGI thing. And look at it saying, we don't know anything about this, but if you pump power into it, it does something. But the way they built it, I mean, Samus looked at it and understood how it worked. So there was no mystery here except the power source, right? It was very understandable, it was very relatable, it was just let's try and turn it on. So it's not really advanced, it's just normal advanced. But the power source, well, it's like with the Stargates, right? A Stargate can take to another galaxy with enough power. So the tech is advanced enough, you need the power to do it. It was always that advanced, you know? It just needs the power requirements, which is with a lot of things, you know. I mean, my 3090 could do more GPU rendering if I put more power into it and cooled it more. It can do more than it is doing. It's the potential to. You just can't. It just reduces longevity, etc. You know, you can overproduce efficiency.
Yeah, I mean, because when he pulled up the schematics and showed Stamets is like, this could work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super confident, super happy. Yeah.
Which, and again, we're trying to figure out how he knew about the device in the center. And you said when it collapsed, it like, you saw the thing for a second, and then long enough to probably get a scan of it.
Mm-hmm.
But it seems to me like he's known this a lot longer.
No, but I think, though, his brain being so fast and so full of information, for him, a day is a long time.
And it probably was one of those like eureka moments, like advice. Okay, now I can go work with my theory.
Yeah,
you know, it's one of those things.
Because I know as soon as I know some things, it feels like okay, my brain's already worked on formal. If I work out a script idea and then all the connection ties suddenly come together. So well, I only had the idea 45 minutes ago, but now I've got half the story. So I don't, you know, I do think he's a bit disconnected from some of the ties that bind reality. He's very focused on what he does and you know, knowing stuff and you know, the chemistry of what he's bringing to a scene is going to be weird because he's just not a normal person. He's a, you know, science at all costs sort of guy. Not in a bad way, just you know, yeah.
And Dan, I don't know what you're trying to prove. Cisco, a powerful and extremely unpredictable entity, was at a Starfleet briefing on 2 years ago. Yes, we're aware. It's a Starfleet briefing for command grade personnel. I don't understand.
We talked about it, Dan. Go back like 4 minutes.
Yeah. Totally on Soren. No, it's not Soren. Maybe it's just from another galaxy and we'll never know. Maybe it's a giant space whale. Or a giant space mole that's making holes to travel.
Well, maybe it's a grown-up version of the little amoeba from TOS. But again, it's not. It's a little ball device.
Exactly. It's an actual device. So.
But the fact that it's a wormhole, something's going to travel. You know, it's traveling. They're traveling. Because also the way that, I mean, if you look at the anomaly, right, on the thumbnail, there's the outer accretion disk level, but there's this inner anomaly within the anomaly, right, which we never talk about. But it's a emitter generating a thing. If that's to scale to the bigger thing, then you've got this inner power. Now that said, though, when did the zoom out in episode 1? This was very, very far out. So maybe that inner orange is just the intense gravity waves. Everything else just the visible light spectrum being bent around it. That's possible, but it's kind of hard to work out at this scale. There was not a big orange center like this exactly in the big version.
Yeah. Well, Trekyards says Charon's mycelial power core equals mirror universe using it for similar tech to create a mycelial bridge. The center rotated when it temporarily disappeared. I think that's just a common trope of like just a cool visual. I don't know. I don't think it links to spinning a cell or spinning a saucer.
And it did occur to me of the Martial network being a power source, but because it's it's another layer of reality. But
Stamets would be clued into that.
Yes, he would have said at some point, "Oh, it was much power as a Martial network." Yeah. But if the Chiron can make that much power, we never got that sense. You know, that's like unlimited. That's more than a Dyson sphere. It was never that powerful. But also, they're not mentioning the Mycelial network, not mentioning these things anymore. These aren't concepts they want to keep harping on about. It can spore drive because it can spore drive. You know?
I agree with you, Matt. Don't want it to be them either.
Yeah.
What if it's Federation Tech from JJ verse Speculating Prime Universe Star Trek Multiverse Push?
Yeah. No, we said that.
And Rebel Poet says, I think you're thinking more about the thing's structure than the people who made this. The graphics guy was like, hey, that looks cool. That's it. Well.
I mean, that is a Discovery trend, but, we can only talk about what we're given. Yeah.
Oliver Lavery Frog, 5 pounds. The DMA is what happens when you don't pay any attention to warp restrictions. One episode at warp 5 wasn't enough.
What, someone bombs you with a device? Remember, it's not real. It's man-made. It's artificial. What if it's actually a weapon though? What if it's just a big ass bomb?
It's Pac-Lids.
Well, that was a joke some people already made. Yeah. What if it is just a bomb though? What if it is just an attack, a very random, slow, methodical attack?
Well, like somebody pointed out earlier, it is strictly Emerald Chain type stuff right now.
But it's also far enough away that was it even their target? I mean, they said about the one degree could either miss or hit. I mean, that's you would think if it was truly on course for something, like 1 degree implies it's the edge of the gravity. Surely if you're attacking a colony, you'd hit straight towards it and there's like 0 chance of it missing. So that implies it's not the target. It happens to be in the radius,
And Seta Transmedia, I think it's an accident. So do we. We really think it's something just innocuous or not planned. It's not a planned attack. It's not we really think that's going to be the reveal.
Yeah, they're sending this thing to our universe, to our galaxy, and they're trying to pick empty space. It's just 5 light years is a long. Because that's the thing. If the thing was only 4 light years, it wouldn't affect either of those planets, right? It just because it happens to have a 5 light year range, and that's a pretty dense, pretty big thing. I mean, yeah.
Truck or not, God from the center of the galaxy. What does God need with a starship? I don't need no starship now, bitches. Look, I created technology that I can just wormhole to you. Maybe it's a mirror universe version of the Traveler.
Making a device again. The device being so easy really grounds it in. It's just some create. And like you'd said, and I think this would be an easy out. I think they'll say. It isn't got the biggest power source. It's just being given power. Like it's pulling power from a subspace dimension, like ZPM. It's like something that simple. It's giant, but it's just feeding power in. That's why there's no power source inside. It's just like a crystalline structure or something that just they can't replicate because it has to be replicated, right? They can't replicate the unique matter inside it. It's a crystal, whatever, and it's like harmonizing the vibration of another reality, which channel power in from the nth dimension, and it's sort of unlimited power. And they can't replicate that because it's just such an unusual way of doing it, like pumping power in from an outer source. And they can't replicate it. It's not technology that beats anything else because everything else is normal. It's just a method, and maybe this will be the solution to the burn. In a sense, maybe at the end of the season they'll gain this technology of how to generate power this way, and it'll be like, wow, yes, they might have destroyed. Yes, Quajon was destroyed. But the people that made this were going to share their Thomac crystalline refraction technology, and now we can power, Starbase with unlimited power. A weird silver lining.
John says, do you think the Vulcans are hiding something, or was the episode asking for an easy out? Just an unrelated side thought to a rest of the season. I don't think they're hiding anything.
Well, they're probably hiding a lot, just not necessarily about this.
Well, yeah.
Because you only have to say what's important, they would think. Yeah, why say everything? I just realized we have polls. I'm gonna do a poll.
Turd Ferguson. It's Kevin Uxbridge. He hasn't tasted ass in 1,000 years. It's built up pressure. Wow. I think Thomas says I would like it to be the race of machines like the one that Nomad encountered. Yeah, a lot of people have been saying it's Voyager. Isn't this similar to Voyager? It's like, no, I don't know where you're getting that. It's Voyager never created, or Voyager never created anomalies like this. I don't understand the comparison there. It was a physical, like, cloud that was moving.
Well,
This is a gravitational.
But let me break your brain for a second. And this would somewhat make sense. What if, not Voyager, Vija? What if, but not just Vija, but the Vija people? What if they retcon this, that the wormhole that Vija fell through was actually artificially created, and it's like this but not as deadly, and it's the people from Vija's home planet, the living machines, and they're powerful. I mean, if they can make Vija just out of, on a whim, I mean, just this random probe, let's just enhance it a bit. Like, that's never implied to be a massive undertaking for them. It's like, oh yeah, they just made it better. It was easy. It's a late Thursday at work. We had drinks after, it was all fine. And so what if it's the Vija aliens finally saying, you know what, we're but then it is sentient AIs again, just nice ones, maybe, probably. A planet of living, and then the Vija planet phases through and says, hello, we're Vija's parents. Yeah, but there's no really more story to tell with them. There isn't just a sentient AI again.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'd be interested in that, honestly.
Yeah.
Lower than the lowest deck says, what if it's the result of Michael sending her suit back to make the 6th signal, but it fucked up?
But how would
It'd be awesome if it was all Michael's fault.
Oh, well. Yeah,
I don't know how it would be, but
how would she make a moon-sized device? How does suit do that? Remember, it's not a thing. It's a thing caused by another thing. It's a direct causation. But Stuart, do you want to read out the poll?
No.
Okay.
But I will anyway. This is my job. What can I open it? There we go. Is the DMA a weapon intentionally causing harm? Yes, it's a weapon. No, it's an accident. Dun dun dun. Go vote in the poll. And hit like. We need, I want 17 likes to 150 likes. Super chats were
$50 away from minimum, really, and that's being generous. 10 fives, 5 tens.
You guys can? A couple of 5s, a few 10s to help us out. We would be amazed and we would be so thankful. So thank you.
And then, do you have any lives planned? Because like I said, I'll be at my grandma's from Tuesday to Thursday, and I've told everyone that I have to come back to get Discovery for you so I can watch it, so I can start again. So my entire non-Discovery week is then, because I was away from Friday to Sunday, so I've had today, and then would you have any other lives planned during the week that you can pimp out right now? Until Thursday anyway?
Nothing planned, but I wouldn't mind doing some late night hangouts. They're kind of fun. So, yeah, I'll see what I can do. Tomorrow night, I'm going to see Spider-Man again.
Again?
With Sylvia this time, because she hasn't seen it yet. So, my son the first time.
So, do you like it?
Yes.
Good. Excellent.
Yeah.
I will admit,
no spoilers. Don't say anything in the chat, guys.
No. Ugh. I will admit, I did just re-download the old Spider-Mans because I might try and watch them. Because I mean, my grandma goes to bed like 7 p.m. and we're all there like sitting at our phones like, We'd be awake another like 6.5 hours, so this is awkward. Um, so I might say, can I get because the grandma's house doesn't have any beds or anything, not for us anymore. So we're staying at a hotel nearby, and so I downloaded all Spider-Mans. So we're there 3 nights, I believe. So I said to myself, well, if we go early enough, I could just lay in bed and watch the Spider-Man films while I'm there and sort of refresh. Because I'm sure, I'd be, re-seeing Green Goblin's character arc would be, you get more nuance from it for the other movie. So I thought it'd be useful because I want to see it at some point, even though masks. But we'll see. We'll see.
Cool.
I need to see it in the cinema. I want to see it on. I will see it on Trekyards, but I want to see it on cinema only. So, first.
Christopher Beatty, $5. I'm going for an accident because it parallels the whole burn not being deliberate, and season 4 seems to have a lot of angst. Yeah.
Yeah. For sure.
Yes, feed me Seymour. That's what it is. Yeah, I think the majority of people are voting that it's not deliberate. It's not an intentional weapon or attack.
Yep. Which is fantastic. I'm glad because obviously in Discovery Season 1, Season 2 be very much well, obviously it's an attack.
Mm-hmm. That being said, if we speculated about it and we're like, we never once guessed that it was somebody screaming. Fun fact.
I don't know. I feel they've definitely they've actually earned the benefit of the doubt, which is lovely.
Yeah.
Give or take.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, says, could this be the caretaker? And no, the caretaker is dead, but it could be one of his species.
Mm-hmm.
I
mean, their simplicity of tech works quite well. I mean, fun, good. We've certainly had enough Voyager connections with the Janeway and the Janeway class.
Didn't you think that was odd? That the ship was named Janeway, but there's Janeway class, which is a ship named Janeway that's the head of the Janeway class. Moving on.
Yep. Well, it's very possible that whoever did that CGI shot didn't know that you have a namesake for the ship class and was like that would be the one you'd pick. They just didn't. They're just not Trek fans. Didn't know that's the naming convention.
Well, then,
the scriptwriter thought they would do that, but CGI just didn't. It's like, oh, huh. Because why the hell would you have? Because you wouldn't have 2 ships called Janeway. So was the Janeway destroyed and they commissioned a new Janeway class? No, I'm not joking. I mean, first the Janeway class
they thought it was destroyed in the burn, and then after the burn was rectified, the real Janeway came back after they created a new ship called the Janeway. And
I mean, that's kind of funny, actually. Yeah, that's kind of cute. So they have 2 of loads of ship names because but they weren't building ships really. So, that's funny. It's funny. I like it.
And we get shit from Donnie yet again. What? No, it doesn't matter option?
No.
It ultimately doesn't matter, but we're asking a question. We want a specific answer.
And also it does matter. So, what a non-question.
Yeah. What was the thing from Voyager episode One Small Step? I don't know what episode that was.
I know I liked that episode.
But you have no idea what it's about.
Well, no, we've talked about that before. The graviton eclipse thing. I mean, it's not because that was a normal just thing that existed. This is not.
Ooh, Feed Me Seymour is like, ooh, the Toxutat. There you go. What does that do? We don't know.
Maybe it's the Decon. Maybe it'll link to Resurgence in a video game.
Yeah. Yes.
I mean, but do you want to be Iconians? I mean, maybe there is just. Maybe that was part of the. Oh, they said Iconian, so you'll assume they weren't. So you'll assume it's not Iconian. So they did that once before. They teased it earlier, then just it was the thing we thought it. Like they. What if it's just an Iconian from another galaxy or something? Would that be anticlimactic or just like, oh, cool, Iconians? Sweet.
Probably a little anticlimactic, I think. But I don't know.
But if we finally have Iconian characters in the show, like they're not there to be villainous, they're just,
Yeah.
Their gateways are real easy, but maybe move them, maybe they finally decided to, after 900 years, or after 12,000 years, they're finally moving their planet back into our galaxy. They decided to come home, and so their gateway is this big gravitational wave emitter. And that'd be cool. It's not quite as elegant as the gateways, but most things aren't. No shade on them for that. It's a big thing to do.
Doug Nor throws in $5.
Thank you.
The alien equals alien upset DME, alien with flatulence.
Yeah,
No.
I don't know what to say. What do you say about such a thing?
I know neither. Oh man. The Toxutot was a quantum phase inhibitor, a device capable of halting all nuclear fusion within a star, invented by Caldano.
And SWNWAR says, if it was a weapon, it wouldn't do nothing for 3 episodes. Not true. Maybe the thing has a cooldown period. Maybe the thing can be activated and then has to be, takes 3 days to repower up a transition. Maybe the wormhole element has to, like I say, recharge, but the actual generation of the anomaly takes other days. Or maybe it's a device that they have to charge up its transitional wormhole drive, but its gravitational drive is self-created. So different power sources, etc.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Colin Barrett. Iconian homeworld escaping disruption or jumping through time be an awesome plot. Yes. Iconians come through from the past. It's like we're back, bitches, and everyone's like, what? Shit. Yeah, that'd be pretty scary. It would though. But yeah, hopefully it's not just another invented race, because you can only have so many ancient alien races that were unlimitedly power. It's like in Doctor Who, they just introduced another brand, in essence, another brand new "we control the universe for all time" race. It's like, okay, great. It's like doing Temporal Cold War is bad enough, because it's like, well, how many races had time travel? Will they use that the whole time? Yeah. Yes. No. Yes. Yes. Don't know. So it's tricky.
That's what it is. It's somebody that's trying to break the temporal accords that were agreed to, so no temporal travel, but they're trying to counteract that. So anything that they put this device near, which would cause time travel, they need to destroy whoever witnesses it. The colony, the planet. That's what's happening, I guess.
Elegantly simple.
And yet silly. Beyond silly.
Well, yeah. But guys, I think we're in the last final round. 5 more likes, $25 more. That would be magical.
Yes.
But yeah, this was a really fantastic discussion. Certainly will be disappointed, but that's only because we had such a great discussion. Let's be honest. That was a really, really interesting debate. And this week, I think it's implied they're flying into the subspace rip this week. So that's pretty freaking direct.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit. Yeah, I know, Soul, exactly.
Yeah, that's going to be a good episode then, hopefully.
Main plot focused, which we needed, because just a lot of subplot stuff. But hey, we've said this since the first episode. They might suddenly appear in the Andromeda Galaxy, and that'll be a lovely mic drop moment. But they do know how to make a way back. They're using the power source. You know what I mean? That would be, because that's the thing. They have the technology now. So if they find a blue, what have they said, giant black hole war machine death loop device.
Oh, David throws in $10.
Thank you.
David Hart, I guess, throws in $10. Thank you for this. With a smiley face.
Oh, so kind.
So, thank you. Matt Boardman, $2. Many thoughts. Snipe. Oh yeah, last super chat slots available. Right now, Matt has it. Anybody want to snipe him off of his podium there? Boom, take a shot. Okay, why does the sphere builders keep getting brought up again and again and again? I really doubt that it's the sphere builders.
Well, because it's a sphere that's making an anomaly. That's it. I mean, that's, you know, and then from the future.
And the Enterprise references this season.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mind if it's the sphere builders who have, like we said earlier, much earlier, they went forward in time to avoid the temporal Cold War ramifications. That's great. And so they've all got all their tech, but now like, fuck this. We're just gonna blow shit up, you know? We don't want to terraform, we want to destroy. And as I said, this was just test 1, test 2. The next test will be Earth. Next test will be Vulcan. You know? And if if they go with random places, you can't prepare. How can you evacuate Earth? Once you know a pattern, you can plan for it. So if they go for random places, it's, you know. So I mean that's interesting, but the sphere builders aren't a very interesting race. They were interesting as part of this great temporal Cold War story, which they never fleshed out fully. That's where they're interesting in. They're a subset of this big multi-layered story, just like the space Nazis. Space alien Nazis.
Squadra course, $1.
Thank you.
Last super chat slot snipe right there. So, and let's say, can we get 2 more likes? Get to 143.
$7 more.
145.
Takes up to a round number. Not a big round number, but you know, a nice one. And then, yes, this week's plan will be Thursday. As with last week, we'll be doing our live review. So that'll be the 23rd. Christmas Eve will be the editor review come out. We hope there's a new ship to talk about on the 25th. If not, hey ho. Oh, ho ho. Hey ho, ho ho. And then we'll probably come back on the 27th a week from now. So it's, I mean, in terms of placement, it is well placed that we can do our stuff before and then right after the holiday season. It is, you know. And we do want to do a Trekyards live next week in the days in between, although I'm sure we've both got certain plans. But, you know, it's a last-ditch attempt to kind of... So
we'll figure something out, maybe.
Yeah, even if it's just a couple of hours, those are always really fun. And, you know, our costumes are right there. I was doing them for something else, so I've got them out.
Matt Boardman, $2.
Ooh.
Serbius snipe.
So,
Oh, we hit 145 likes.
oh, fantastic. Yeah. But no, I'm excited. Should be fun. And while the season's not like really exciting, it's engaging. And hopefully Scientist Man is back this next episode.
Tarka, yeah, I like him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he's going anywhere for a few episodes.
Ah, yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you want to go into the Anomaly? Like, he's that kind of guy.
Exactly.
What? What?
Area 51, $2. Sigh, it's me. I made the DMA.
See? I think my reaction was justified there. But
So you'll go down in history as being the first Super Chat strike implementer and for destroying Quajon. And good job.
But why? Area. Why? I was gonna close out.
Trekyards.
Oh yeah, let's bomb the universe. Film of Trekyards. Great, thanks. Give us a bad rap there, Stuart.
Depends on what planets we're hitting.
Oh, anything Giorgio's on is what you're thinking.
Why do you think we haven't seen Detmer?
Yeah.
A little one in her quarters. She did.
Hi, Daniel. Except this is right at the end. Oh dear. But good to see you. Hope you're having a lovely Also, are you having a nice pre-Christmas build-up? Have you got your presents? Are you sort of prepped and ready? And
No, and no. Almost ready. I still got some stuff to do. So
How's the basement?
coming along well. Got a lot of bins in the house today. Went through a lot more. Bin outside is almost empty, so I'm getting there. Getting rid of a lot of shit. So that's good. Giving stuff away to like the Value Village and selling a few things on Facebook Marketplace, and doing that kind of shit.
Nice.
Yes.
Do you think are you gonna prioritize that over the Christmas and New Year's break, or are you gonna take a break from that and jump back into it in 2022?
But you know me. Anywhere from December 23rd to January 2nd, leave me the fuck alone. That's my holidays. But we'll still do lives, of course, because
we're not given a choice this year.
Yeah. Yeah. Matt Boardman, $2 at Area 51. Do we want to know how? Taco Bell run? Oof. That's rough.
For $7, I will reveal a Taco Bell reference I have on my phone.
Oh dear God.
$5 or $7. I was gonna send this to you, Stuart, and I forgot. But it's a Taco Bell based thing that everyone wants to see.
Okay.
Because it might be important into the future. So every $5, and I will, and no one has any idea what I'm saying. But I'm staring at the picture.
You know what the DMA is? It's Nagilum. Nagilum's all grown up.
Oh, you mean like he's playing the little marbles? He's playing marbles. Each of those little marbles he's throwing out to the universe.
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. Although, you know, what if it is like something, you know, Men in Black 1 has the universe on a chain.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it is just some sort of like universe higher being, not literally.
Yeah, it's touching us. It's fingerprints. It's finger
like these these devices are just like nothing. They're you know, oh look, a safety pin, gravitational anomaly. You know.
So Matt Boardman throws in $10. How about for $10? I gotta see this now.
Fantastic. So I was walking through Camden.
Walking through Camden one day.
Yes.
In the merry
when I found a almost open Taco Bell. And ironically, I'd flipped this to show you, but I need to reflip it so that the thing will see it the right way. Stupid. Okay, so that will be now the right way around, I guess.
For them, yeah.
Yeah, so this is I bumped into into the UK's like second Taco Bell. There's not a brand we have in the UK ever. Yeah, this isn't a thing we have. This one's not open yet. It's just not open yet. They were going to build one somewhere else in London, but got pushed for like 6 months. This one's almost finished. And so yeah, Taco Bell finally making it to the UK. Literally, we talked about it like a week before. Bumped into it, and
that's cool.
I can finally eat Taco Bell in the UK. It's not a thing we have.
I'll have to try it, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And that's where we'll take you. We'll go to a great English restaurant of Taco Bell. It's like, what?
Well, the Taco Bell in the States has different stuff on its menu than we do here in Canada. Like they don't have like real,
maple syrup.
No, they don't have the everything fries. What are they called? Fries Supreme. Yeah. So I mean, anyway, Jonathan C. $10.
Oh.
I think it would be awesome to see the DMA be another galaxy attempting to come into the Milky Way. We said that. I hope it doesn't involve more time travel or a mirror universe. Disco has ever played that. Yep. And yet. Area 51. Oh, go ahead.
Well, I mean, like I said, if this is what it takes to go through the Great Barrier, beautiful. Can you imagine Discovery jumps the Great Barrier? We see it like in 2022 realized CG. Hell of a thing to explain to the fan, like those who don't know what the Great Barrier is, but that'd be great. Yeah.
Area 51, $5. Well, now it's the last super chat slot.
Oh.
Was trying to close Discovery's shuttle bay doors. Things went sideways a bit. That's exactly what this is. Exactly what it is.
I mean,
they left the doors open, and it's like you leave the front door open. And your dad's like, "We're not trying to heat the whole neighborhood." Well, they're dropping like stuff out the back of the Discovery, and that's what's causing this.
So you're saying it was? You're saying it was them?
Yeah, all along.
Yeah.
Just close your door. It's simple.
on that note, we hope that the Discovery's door will be closed next week. And our poll, 93 votes, is the DMA a weapon intentionally causing harm? And it's got a lot closer. 48% yes, it's a weapon. 52% no, it's not.
It's a good division, actually.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Okay, I thought it'd be like 70-30, but hey, people spoken. I love that people can speak. Cool.
And Area 51, you got the last super chat slot today, Alex. So thank you guys for joining us.
Yes, thanks so much.
Keep your thinking caps on. We'll probably be talking more about this later, depending on what's going on with the next episodes. So more theories can abound.
And wish me luck with my writing scripts at Grandma's, because that's all I can do, because they haven't got PCs here. So I'll be scripting.
Good luck, man. Good luck.
Cool. So yeah, have a good one. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Till then, here's Captain Foley.
I am, and he's Commander Cocky.